I'm Dr. Mike DeBoer, president of B3 Sciences. I want to welcome you to our B3 Bands anti-aging presentation. First, I want to recognize Dr. Jim Stray-Gunderson, the developer of the B3 bands. He's the #1 training expert in the USA, and he perfected these bands in his work with Olympic athletes and then the general population. And then in September of 2018, we pre-launched B3 Sciences and then officially launched the company October 1st of 2019. Now there's close to 5,000 people experiencing the anti-aging effects of B3 bands. Anti-aging is most easily defined by growth hormone in your body. Growth hormone is Mother Nature's way of allowing you to live a long, healthy, and fit life. Growth hormone is responsible for regeneration. All of your cells regenerate on a specific clock set by your DNA, but growth hormone triggers this to happen faster. So if you want to have a younger body that repairs itself quicker, growth hormone is essential. Body function, composition, body fluids, muscle and bone growth, mental function, heart function, function of your organs, all of this is regulated by growth hormone. Metabolism, maintaining a lean, healthy, muscular body, burning calories, burning more calories than you consume, so you keep a lean body, that's controlled by growth hormone. Growth hormone is produced by your pituitary gland and then circulates throughout the entire body. Unfortunately, as we get into our 20s, our natural release of growth hormone declines with age. And every one of us, whether we're 10 years old or 90 years old, gets a natural nighttime release. And you cannot alter this natural release. It's determined by Mother Nature. And again, as you get older in age, look at the chart there, growth hormone declines. And about the age of 30 is when we start seeing the decrease in lean muscle and increase in fat. Why? Reduced growth hormone, reduced metabolism, weight gain around the midsection. Aging, decay, and disease, that regeneration we talked about on the previous slide slows down, and this is when we start to begin seeing things like wrinkles, arthritis, low sex drive, cardiovascular disease, nerve degeneration of our brain and nerves, loss of bone density, and potentially the onset of diabetes and hypothyroidism. The growth hormone effect on life cannot be understated. It's the only thing we know of in medicine that can turn back the clock. HGH can reverse the manifestations of aging by 5 to 15 years or more. There's no other single therapy currently available that can have an impact on aging of the body. HGH can reduce wrinkles, tighten saggy skin, decrease body fat, increase lean muscle mass, boost energy, rev up sex drive, and make you look and feel decades, not years, but decades younger. The problem with growth hormone is most people only have one option: dangerous, synthetic, and expensive injections. But what most people don't realize is you have a natural way of releasing a big growth hormone surge in your body. It's high intensity exercise. If you can lift weights or do vigorous aerobic activity, you can get a growth hormone release in your body at any age. Why is this important? Because we were designed to be exercising. Humans are hunters and gatherers who thrived when in motion and surrounded by others. The key here is we are designed to be in motion. Aging is just the dry rot we program into our cells by sedentary living and then junk food and stress. The key here is sedentary living is the #1 factor that leads to early death in the aging process. Exercise will be the #1 factor in the quality of your life and whether you die at 50 or die at 100. A recent book concluded what we've already known, a book called Younger Next Year. I encourage you to read this book. They determined that the secret to a healthy, long life, longevity, is exercise 6 days a week. And very specifically, serious aerobic exercise 4 days a week, serious strength training with weights 2 days a week. If you were to do this, you would have the fountain of youth. The problem, most people can't do this. 95% of the population falls into one of these three categories. They don't have time, the time to drive to the gym, to work out for an hour or an hour and a half. Many people, like myself at the age of 56, have too much pain when we lift weights. It hurts too much or something gets inflamed. But the majority of people who are exercising, they are not doing high intensity. They're going for a walk, lifting light weights, going for a bike ride, playing pickleball, playing golf, playing tennis. This is not high intensity exercise, and thus it does not stimulate growth hormone. And most people end up giving up or quitting, and this leads to the disease processes we see, and in most cases, early death in life. But now there's a solution, a technology that was discovered in Japan 50 years ago called blood flow resistance training. You can see Olivia and Easton there. They have those bands on their arm, and we're going to talk about what they do. But in Japan, over 300,000 people per day are now practicing blood flow resistance training for everything from cardiac rehab to improving bone density to losing weight, having more energy, and living longer. Now, in the United States, we no longer have to wonder what the results will be. In about 15 months, we have close to 5,000 people using B3 bands, and the results have been incredible. Now, you can do half the time, half the weight or work and get better results, which means every single person can simulate high-intensity exercise in their body with B3 bands, doing light exercise, and get a big growth hormone surge. You know, our current beliefs are this. We have all been taught the no pain, no gain principle of either heavy weights or high-intensity running. But these are simply tools. These are things we use to drive fatigue in our muscle, to feel that burn, to drive that oxygen deficit, and to feel what a lot of people call that lactic acid burn. Most people in their biggest workouts in their entire life, imagine the hardest workout you've ever done, cannot even get down to a level where you get a big growth hormone surge, which is down around 30% oxygen, because oxygen deficit in your muscles equals growth hormone release. Look at this study of middle-aged men on the left side doing bicep curls to fatigue. They're working out hard with medium and heavy weight. And you can see they're ending up at a resting oxygen above 30% or 35%. And when they get down to this level, they get a small growth hormone release. But now, like we said, there's a new way to exercise. You simply put the B3 bands on your arms and legs, and when you pump up these multiple air chambers, it safely slows down oxygen into your muscles. Doesn't cut off blood flow. It's completely safe. But imagine now when you're exercising, your muscle runs out of oxygen much faster with dramatically lighter weights. Imagine going for a walk and feeling like you ran 10 miles. Imagine lifting light dumbbells, like 2, 3, or 4-pound dumbbells, and feeling like you just lifted heavy weights. So the first huge benefit is you're doing light exercise in a quick amount of time. But the second thing that happens is profound. You're doing light exercise, but your muscles are fatiguing as if you're doing super high intensity exercise that's previously only reserved for elite level athletes. And this deep fatigue that you get results in this big growth hormone surge. Look at the right side. This is the same middle-aged men putting the BFR bands on, doing half the weight, and look how low their oxygen's getting, down around 10, 15, 20%. In this range, you get a big growth hormone surge. Again, this is like training like your Michael Phelps or Lance Armstrong, and the results are profound. This is just one of the 4 studies that are out there on middle-aged men. The top line is the men exercising without BFR to their maximal fatigue point, and you can see they're getting to an oxygen deficit, but more importantly, look at the growth hormone release. This is the typical small growth hormone release that most people struggle to get. Struggle because it takes pretty high intensity exercise. Look what happens when these men put the bands on and do BFR exercise. Their growth hormone release increases by 25 times. We've never seen anything like this in the history of human performance. Most people have never experienced a growth hormone release like this at any time in their life, and now you can get it every day. And it is easy. Simply put the bands on your arms and or legs and do a 4-minute booty workout of just body weight exercises. There's Janine and Crystal, who's one of our senior ladies, doing a simple 4-minute booty workout. Or use our exercise tubing and light weights to do upper body workouts. There's a young man doing the upper body workout, and there's Greg Whitehead down on the beaches of Florida working out on his vacation deck. And you can simply do light cardio exercise. Imagine getting on your exercise bike, many of which are collecting dust in your house, or going for a bike ride or a walk, or simply getting on the elliptical machine for 8 minutes and getting a big growth hormone surge as if you're doing high intensity exercise. The science and research is massive that has been performed and conducted on BFR. There's over 300 papers, case studies, and scientific reviews that leave no doubt. This is a scientific breakthrough in human performance. This isn't a fad. This isn't Tybo. This isn't P90X. This isn't dancing to the oldies or shake weight. This is a scientific breakthrough in human performance that will change how we exercise forever. Let's review some of these studies. Muscle strength. This study shows that you can increase strength as equally well as lifting heavy weights by simply doing light weights and elastic BFR bands like B3 bands. You can grow muscle, and you can grow muscle fast in as little as 5 sessions doing light weights and elastic BFR bands like B3. How about body fat? How many people get up in the morning and the first thing you do when you go in the bathroom is look at your physique and your body? And 99% of us look in the mirror and we're not satisfied because we have excess body fat that we don't want. How do we get rid of it? Growth hormone. Read what these scientific studies in the medical community agrees on. Because growth hormone exerts influence on metabolism, growth hormone deficiency leads to weight gain. Upon receipt of growth hormone therapy, a person sees an improvement in metabolic functions or metabolism that leads to the burning of stored fat. Another one, growth hormone reduces obesity through its actions on 2 enzymes which control lipolysis and lipogenesis. Bottom line is, look at the chart. When you get growth hormone release, your body naturally starts burning off fat, stubborn fat, visceral fat, fat in places that's very difficult to lose. Next, strong bones. Let's read what science has already concluded. Growth hormone deficiency is a leading cause for concern of osteoporosis. That means as we age, especially women, declines in natural growth hormone and lack of high-intensity exercise leads to growth hormone deficiency and osteoporosis. Next, growth hormone plays a crucial role in the maintenance of bone mass by regulating, pay very close attention, bone resorption. What does bone resorption mean? It means when you get growth hormone release in your body, we already know that bones resorb or get dense or stronger, which means you can reverse bone loss if you can get growth hormone. Guess what? This study concluded that walking, not lifting heavy weights, not going to CrossFit, walking with BFR bands like B3 bands increases bone density. And now Dr. Jim has been conducting studies on bone density, specifically DEXA scans, and he's already shown that several seniors who began walking, he was able to increase their bone density. So this is a very promising exercise modality for osteoporosis. We expect 3 to 5 years from now, we will have completed studies that shows this, but you don't have to wait. Especially the people you care about, who you're concerned about osteoporosis, they simply can start walking with B3 bands. Next, let's talk about aerobic exercise for your heart. Here's what science has concluded. Your heart is a muscle, and it gets stronger and healthier if you lead an active life. Go back to the previous slide we were talking about at the beginning. We are meant to be in motion. We're meant to be exercising. People who don't exercise, twice as likely to get heart disease. Aerobic exercise and resistance training are the most important for heart health. Remember what the book concluded: vigorous aerobic exercise, serious resistant training. The Heart and Stroke Foundation and the American Heart Association both recommend doing at least 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous aerobic physical activity per week for adults, which is the amount needed to have an impact on your heart health. Here's the problem. Go back to our slide. Most people don't have time. Most people can't tolerate the heavy loads. Most people can't do in high intensity. This is why this is simply not realistic in today's society. It's why so many people are not healthy and are getting early disease process and are dying early. But vigorous aerobic exercise is now easy. No longer do you have to do 30, 45-minute sessions. No longer do you have to push your body to levels that create inflammation and pain. You can simply go for an 8-minute ride on an exercise bike, a 12-minute walk, a 10-minute jog, a 5-minute swim, 6 minutes on the elliptical. At home, simply put the bands on and go up and down the stairs for 4 minutes, or follow along with our easy-to-follow 4-minute booty workout that people can do from anywhere. What are the benefits of exercising with BFR? BFR creates the effect of angiogenesis in your body. This is very important. What is angiogenesis? It's the rebuilding of better and younger blood vessels. Have you ever heard of things like hardening of the arteries, atherosclerosis, aneurysms? These things are the deterioration of your blood vessels due to the aging process. Angiogenesis can reverse that, and BFR exercise has been shown to stimulate angiogenesis. In addition, BFR exercise increases blood flow. Most people get concerned and say, oh, I don't want to cut off my blood flow. BFR exercise does not cut off blood flow. It simply slows down oxygen into your muscles so that you can exercise more vigorously, which then increases blood flow. You actually get more blood flow by exercising with BFR, which leads to less inflammation due to better blood flow into musculoskeletal areas that have pain, like fibromyalgia, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, gout, tendinitis, multiple sclerosis. The result of BFR, studies conclude more energy, stamina, endurance, less pain and inflammation in your joints, and your cardiovascular system gets younger. And guess what? It doesn't stop there. Most people would never relate varicose veins and high-intensity exercise. But here's what science has already concluded. The veins in our legs lose their ability to expand and contract. This is called venous compliance. As this ability to expand and contract occurs, look at the chart there, the veins become lazy and they get a backup or pooling of blood, and we see varicose veins. Why? Because these veins have lost their elasticity. They have muscles in them. But guess what? This is not a BFR conclusion. This is what science and medicine's already concluded. People who do regular endurance type exercise have higher venous compliance and thus less varicose veins. Here's the problem. Most people, as they get older, cannot perform endurance exercise. Same problem we've been talking about. How many 60 and 70-year-olds do you know that can do high-intensity, rigorous aerobic exercise and serious weight training? None of them can. But guess what? BFR solves that. In a study of 16 women ages 15 to 78, after 6 weeks of simply walking, leg venous compliance, meaning the ability for your veins to expand and contract, increased significantly. So the solution, walking with BFR bands like B3 bands, has been proven to improve venous compliance and help prevent and even help improve varicose veins. And finally, brain health. How many people are concerned about degenerative brain problems? And you notice this because you start to lose your memory. You can't think. You get foggy. And then we hear of people, or we know people, getting Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and Lou Gehrig's disease. Here's what science has already concluded. This has nothing to do with BFR. Release of IGF-1. Now, IGF-1 is the result of growth hormone. Growth hormone is secreted by high-intensity exercise, and then IGF-1 is produced in the liver as a result of that growth hormone. Release of IGF-1 from resistance exercise is very beneficial for your brain. Once IGF is in your brain, it causes the growth and development of both nervous system cells and synaptic processes and a heightened state of neuroprotection. You know what neuroprotection is? Protection of your brain and your nerves from degeneration, plus faster rates of axon outgrowth and enhanced brain cell maturation. The result is enhanced cognitive function. This is why so many people who do BFR say that they can focus better, they have more memory, they can work longer, and their brain just functions better. There is a direct relationship between low levels of IGF-1. That means people who are sedentary and don't get high-intensity exercises, and age-related cognitive decline, and an increased risk of neurodegenerative disease, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, Lou Gehrig's. But guess what? Now we have the solution. It's the same solution that we've already known. All the doctors know it. All the scientists conclude. If we can do high-intensity exercise and maintain muscle mass and get vigorous aerobic activity to maintain a healthy cardiovascular system by way of maintaining healthy levels of growth hormone, we would be healthy and our brain would be protected. Now, there's a solution. Studies show that BFR, doing exercise like B3 bands, increases IGF-1 while doing lighter loads. BFR is better than traditional exercise for your brain, a study concluded, and BFR increases cerebral blood flow. Lighter loads, shorter time, light exercise that does not hurt our bodies is exactly what our senior population needs, and we need in our middle age if we're going to achieve IGF-1 release and protect our brain from neurodegeneration. And if that wasn't enough, thyroid. How many people are struggling with poor memory and concentration, hoarseness, poor hearing, slowed pulse rate, fatigue, feeling cold, weight gain, and poor appetite, shortness of breath, maybe paresthesia in your skin? These are signs of hypothyroidism, the decline of the production of the important T3 and T4 thyroid hormones out of your thyroid gland. But guess what? Science has already concluded the exact same thing we're talking about. There's an important relationship between thyroid stimulating hormone and human growth hormone. What's thyroid stimulating hormone? It comes out of your pituitary gland, and it tells your thyroid to produce thyroid hormones. And it's related to what we've been talking about, high-intensity exercise. Here's what doctors have already concluded. Every hypothyroid patient should do high-intensity exercise to improve thyroid function. Guess what? BFR accomplishes this. BFR increases growth hormone, which has a relationship with thyroid stimulating hormone, which gets into your thyroid and helps your thyroid function better. We've had numerous people using B3 bands work with their doctors, and now they're off of their thyroid medication. So just another one of the incredible anti-aging benefits. B3 bands are for everyone. Busy moms and dads, people who want to lose weight, people who want to tone up in minutes per day or build muscle or perform better. Kids 8 years old up to seniors 90 years old, people who are injured, people who are physically challenged. And it's not just for general population. Professionals, athletes, Olympic teams, celebrities, doctors, trainers, bodybuilders, high school and college teams, rehab centers, physical therapists have already started using B3 bands. Look on that chart right there. That's Mark Wahlberg, the movie star, down in the bottom left corner, and Nick Cannon, a Hollywood celebrity. And those are Olympic athletes across the top level up there. Busy moms and dads now have been experiencing incredible benefits, changing their bodies, sleeping better, more energy, more focused. Seniors by simply going for a walk, like walking the dog for 10 to 15, 20 minutes, losing weight, energy skyrocketing, brain performance, cognitive performance going up. People of any age building muscle. Dr. Chris at 75 years old putting an inch on his biceps. Evan, a young guy, putting on 20 pounds of muscle in 3 months. Athletes getting an unfair advantage. Do you have an athlete in your family or your extended family, or do you know friends who have athletes in their house? Athletes who train with B3 bands will have an unfair advantage. Emily added 6 inches to her vertical jump. She's now a Division I volleyball scholarship player. Colin dramatically increased his speed, and this allowed him to get a Division I football scholarship. Any age, people in their middle ages still performing at elite levels, taking their performance to a new level. Scott, a national pickleball champion. Ingrid, 3-time Olympian, performing better and doing less training with BFR bands, B3 bands. Kids and seniors, Caden hitting baseballs and hitting the baseball further and harder. Crystal, like we talked about, doing our light workouts from home, 5, 10, 15 minutes, more energy, more balance, tighter arms, feeling better, going to live longer. Injury and rehab occurs much quicker. Bill injured his knee, was back playing pickleball in 3 weeks. Josh, a professional soccer player, after an ACL surgery, which typically takes 8 to 9 months, was back playing pro soccer in 4 months. How about physically challenged people you know? Jeff, who has Parkinson's, can now do light exercises and maintain and build muscle. And guess what? His tremors go away for 3 to 4 hours after he uses the bands. Have you ever been around a person with tremors like Parkinson's? Have you ever seen their tremors go away? They never go away. But guess what? When you do BFR exercise and you get better brain flow, cerebral brain flow, his tremors go away. Now, we're not going to cure his Parkinson's, but what a dramatic improvement in his function and potentially in extending his life. Don is a quad amputee that can now work out from home. Dusty is one of our multiple sclerosis stories. People who have multiple sclerosis have so much pain that they cannot exercise anywhere near vigorous enough to get the benefits of growth hormone. And this stops them from exercising. Dusty will tell you she couldn't exercise because it hurt too much, which leads to depression and deconditioning. As soon as she started using the bands, she noticed how easy it was to get a pump in the muscles with no pain and for her to exercise like she did when she was in her 20s. What's the result? Her pain dramatically reduced. She's increased strength, stamina, endurance, and it's been a tremendous help with depression. And this is what a study at the University of Illinois showed. People who trained for 6 weeks at 3 times a week on their lower body with BFR bands showed a large change in leg strength. So this is just another one of the wonderful things that we can do with BFR. And finally, BFR training is safe. A survey of 12,000 people who used BFR from healthy to advanced diseases. Here's what the study concluded. BFR is a safe training for healthy people and can be applied to persons with various kinds of physical conditions, including cerebrovascular diseases, orthopedic diseases, obesity, cardiac diseases, neuromuscular diseases, hypertension, and respiratory diseases. Now it's your turn to start exercising the new way. You can literally exercise at work and never even take off your work clothes. Or while you're at home taking care of the kids, cleaning the house, simply put the bands on and get a workout while you're doing things around the house. When you travel, you can take the bands with you. You can take them to the gym. Now it's easy. Simply get back to the person who's sharing this with you and order your B3 bands. They will come in a size that matches perfectly to your body. And we're even going to provide you a coach so that you can get results and become a new you in as little as 30 days. And then we're going to encourage you to share it with the people you care about. As soon as you order your bands, we will email you your 30-day program. This will come from your B3 coach. They will email one of 4 programs that you choose: lose weight or tone up, get in shape, build muscle, or perform better. Easy to follow videos, a guide with pictures, and a calendar showing exactly what you should do. and it's going to be easy, and you will always have your coach there to answer questions, and you'll have access to our B3 live sessions and ongoing training and workout videos. And we want you to experience the bands for 30 days. Here's what I can tell you. We've had close to 5,000 people now using the bands. Very few, less than 20 have come back. And we have a saying around here: once you go bands, you'll never go back to the old way of exercising again. But if for any reason you're not completely satisfied, within 30 days of when you receive your bands, that means when they arrive, not when you order them, experience them for 30 days. And if you're not completely satisfied, send them back for a full refund. And the bands even have a 12-month warranty. I want to thank you for attending what I believe is the greatest discovery in human performance and anti-aging. What I believe is truly the key to tapping in to our body's fountain of youth, for us to live a long, healthy life, to live to 100 if we want to be, and enjoy every single year. Now it's your time to experience these benefits, to be healthy, be fit, and to be strong. Thanks for attending. And if you're not currently using the B3 bands, make sure to get back to the person who shared this exciting video with you to get started with your B3 bands.